And we're starting with a Fox News alert. Gunshots on the U.S. border with Mexico. But who fired the shots is the big mystery. And why did they do it? Hi, everyone. I'm Gretchen Carlson. Welcome to The Real Story for a Friday. So here's the bizarre story. A Mexican military helicopter crosses into American airspace. This happened early yesterday, flying about 100 yards north of the border in Arizona, where, well, they don't belong. And then for some inexplicable reason, they opened fire, shooting live ammo at Americans on U.S. soil. The two U.S. Border Patrol agents under attack were not harmed. And after the helicopter went back into Mexico, well then, Mexico apologized for the incident. But still, many unanswered questions. Katie Pavlich is the news editor for townhall.com and a Fox News contributor. Sean Moran is vice president of the National Border Patrol Council. Both are my guests. Thank you so much, Sean. Let me start with you. This is not the first time this has happened, right? But tell us exactly what did happen yesterday morning.
Apparently, a Mexican military helicopter was conducting operations south of the U.S.-Mexico border and crossed into U.S. territory. And when it did, it fired on a very well-marked U.S. Border Patrol vehicle. They are green and white with red and blue flashing lights. There are numbers on the roof. It's very hard to mistake it for anything other than what it is.
Why?
That's a good question. When you're operating in the vicinity of the border, Border Patrol agents are well aware that they have to know where they are at all times so that they do not cross into Mexico, because there are very drastic repercussions. Unfortunately, on the other side of the coin, we really have no repercussions when the Mexican military or law enforcement crosses into the U.S. We usually let them go with an apology at the orders of the State Department.
Well, it's one thing to cross over the border. It's a whole other thing to shoot at United States border agents. Katie, let me bring you into this story because I know that you have written about this today. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it's completely unacceptable. I think there's a double standard here, obviously, that Sean has pointed out already, but we have to keep in mind that the Mexican government has very high standards for our Border Patrol agents. In fact, high standards include, they don't like the fact that our agents use lethal force against those who throw rocks, which is also can be a lethal weapon. And now we have this Mexican military helicopter shooting at marked Border Patrol agents, and they haven't explained why they're doing that. And sure, great, the Mexican government has issued an apology, but I don't think that an apology is enough, and I think that they're going to have to do a little more to explain what went on here. I think the first step in that could be, look, we're sorry. Here, let's release Sergeant Tamarisi from our jail as an exchange for what we did to screw up, to shoot at your Border Patrol agents.
All right, more on that in just a minute, because I want to bring Sean back into the equation, because here is what is startling, that apparently Mexican military are oftentimes working hand in glove with the Mexican drug cartels. How would that factor into this particular shooting, Sean?
Well, I hesitate to speculate. It's believed that this was a legitimate operation in this instance, but there have been other instances where Mexican law enforcement and Mexican military have been suspected of working for the cartels, and their excuses when they cross the border are pretty sorry. They say they didn't see the border, or it wasn't well marked, or they got lost. And that's when agents are actively working drug tracking and attempting to arrest smugglers. So it seems very coincidental that they happen to be in the area when we make these arrests.
All right,
and really have no excuse for being there.
Okay. Let's go back to Katie for a minute, because you brought up Sergeant Andrew Tamarisi, who's rotting in a Mexican jail right now. So what do you think needs to be done? Now we have this interesting information that Mexican military choppers are shooting at our Border Patrol agents with no repercussions, and our guy is still sitting in their jail.
Right. So there have been consequences for Sergeant Tamarisi for apologetically driving into Mexico and trying to do the right thing by turning himself in. And now he's been sitting in a Mexican jail for 3 months. He wasn't violent. He didn't shoot at Mexican agents. He was very cooperative. And yet here we are with the Mexican military shooting with lethal force at our Border Patrol agents, and somehow our Marine is still in jail. President Obama should get on the phone and say, look, there won't be any consequences for you as long as you exchange our Marine back for what has been done here.
Just to clarify, Sean, this is not the first time that the Mexican military in choppers have shot at U.S. Border Patrol agents, correct?
It's the first time I'm aware of that they shot from helicopters, but we've had Mexican military and law enforcement take shots at Border Patrol agents in Arizona, in San Diego, near the Brownfield Border Patrol station. We've also had large groups, an entire platoon of Mexican military troops crossed over in Santa Teresa, New Mexico, and then were released, allowed to drive their Humvees with all their weapons back through the port of entry into Mexico with absolutely no consequences.
Wow. Some startling information coming out with this report today. Sean Moran, Katie Pavlich, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.